Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It is True Crime Tuesday yet again, and today we will be talking about the girl who did almost everything just to achieve her dreams. And once she did, she decided to end it all. Today we will be talking about the case of Jang Ja Yeon. Jang Ja Yeon was born on January 25th, 1980 in Jongeup, North Jeolla Province, South Korea. She lived a normal life with her parents and her two siblings, a younger brother and an older sister. And just like a lot of little girls, Jayon wanted to be famous. She wanted to be a very famous actress. However, before she even reached her dreams, tragedy struck in 1999 when she lost both of her parents as they were both killed in a tragic vehicular accident. After this, it was only Jayon, her sister, and her brother. But she did not let this get in the way. In 2006, at the age of 26 years old, Jayon made her TV debut when she starred in a commercial. However, she did not get her big break until 2009 when she was cast in one of South Korea's biggest and most popular TV dramas, Kotboda Namja or Boys Over Flowers. Jang Ja Yeon was cast in Boys Over Flowers as Sunny, and she was one of the mean girls of Shinhwa High School who always tormented and bullied the main protagonist Gum Jan-di. And her role did leave a mark on the audience. The drama aired its first episode on January 5th, 2009 and ended on March 31st of the same year. However, before the popular K-drama even ended, South Korea was hit by very shocking news. At around 7:42 p.m. on March 7, 2009, Jang Ja Yeon's older sister found her hanging from their stairway banister at their own home. She was only 29 years old. This, of course, brought a great shock to everyone in South Korea, because due to the popularity of Boys Over Flowers, by this time, almost everyone knew who Jang Ja Yeon was. Little did Jayon know that she would gain more popularity after her death. Hours before her body was found, Jayon was on the phone with her older sister at around 3:30 p.m. She had been complaining about the overwhelming stress that she was feeling, saying that she just wanted to die. Her sister rushed home after being unable to contact her after their initial phone call at 3:30 p.m. It was then revealed that a year prior to taking her own life, Jang Ja Yeon had already been suffering from clinical depression and that she was actually receiving medical treatment for it. Now, a police investigation was conducted and it concluded that the cause of death was indeed suicide and no evidence of foul play was ever found. However, not long after this, a note allegedly written by Jang Ja Yeon herself was found. There were 7 pages in total. However, it was far from a regular suicide note. It was more of a confession that detailed everything that she had to go through and endure just to get through where she was in that point of her career. Now, for those who are not familiar with the Korean entertainment industry, they go through a lot. First, they go to numerous auditions trying out for different entertainment companies. And once they find an agency that would offer them a contract, they go through years of rigorous training before actually making their debut, while some don't even make it to that point. Now, most people think that this only applies to K-pop idols or K-pop groups, but actors, actresses, and models go through this as well. And Jang Ja Yeon was one of those people. So as I have mentioned, a contract is offered to these people once they get into these agencies, and these contracts are often referred to as slave contracts. That's how bad they are, meaning these contracts can last up to 15 years or even longer. And during the time that they are under contract with their agency, they cannot say no to anything. So if the agency tells them to go have plastic surgery and alter their appearance, they would do so. If the agency tells them not to work with this certain brand or do certain things, they're not allowed to do that. So basically, Korean artists are under tight control of their agencies. That's what I'm trying to say here, is that they can't say no. And if they wanted to, let's say, terminate the contract earlier than the date that it's supposed to end, things could get messy for the artist and the company, and the artist would have to pay for the money that was spent on them while they were training. And if you guys remember, I did mention that Jang Ja Yeon made her debut when she landed a commercial in 2006. And she did a couple of these along with other minor roles before she got her big break in 2009 when she was cast in Boys Over Flowers, right? And this is where all the questions start rolling in. Why would she commit suicide just when she finally got her big break? Why would she end her life now that she was starting to finally make a name for herself? All of the answers were in that 7-page note. Yes, the note. The note that detailed every single thing that she had to endure just to get at that point of her career. Because aside from playing Sunny in Boys Over Flowers, Ja Yeon was also awaiting the release of her first 2 films. According to news reports, Jang Ja Yeon had a lot of problems with her management agency, The Contents Entertainment. In the 7-page note that she wrote, she claimed that her manager, Kim Sung-hoon, would regularly beat her up and threaten her, forcing her to entertain a string of VIPs at parties or events. This includes high-ranking media executives, directors, producers, and CEOs. And not only was Jang Ja Yeon mandated to serve as their entertainment in these events, she was also sadly forced to sleep with them. She allegedly listed 31 names in total. However, the full list of names was never publicized. Her manager, or her former manager, Kim Sung-hoon, who was in Japan during Ja Yeon's untimely demise, denied all allegations, claiming that he had nothing to do with her suicide. On March 9, 2009, 2 days after she claimed her own life, a funeral for Jang Ja Yeon was held in the Seoul National University Hospital. Her funeral was attended by her family as well as her friends and colleagues from the entertainment industry. Most notably, her Boys Over Flowers castmates were visibly extremely at a loss for the sudden passing of their friend. 3 months later, the former manager Kim Sung-hoon was arrested in Tokyo due to overstaying. And once the arrest was made, he said that he committed a crime in South Korea and that he overstayed in Japan to avoid getting arrested. So that already seems like a confession. But shockingly, he was only sentenced to 1 year in jail with a 2-year probation and 160 hours of community service, which in my opinion is totally unfair. Along with this, 20 out of the 31 VIPs that were on the list were also investigated by the authorities. However, out of these 20 names, only 7 were prosecuted. However, the story doesn't end there. In 2019, 10 years after Jang Ja Yeon took her own life, South Korean President Moon Jae-in issued a thorough reinvestigation of the Jang Ja Yeon case. Because apparently one of her former label mates, Yoon Ji-oh, An actress also came forward as a witness about the mistreatment of their agency towards Jang Ja Yeon. And this is what reopened the case. So Yoon Ji-oh was also an actress under the same management agency, and according to her, it took her 10 years to come out with her testimony because she feared for her own life as well. She even posted a psychological diagnosis and a medical record certificate in fear of being killed in a murder disguised as a suicide due to depression. Now, she took these extra precautions because, according to her, 3 other talents from the same company also passed away due to suicide, and that 2 of these 3 artists were ready to tell or share their truth before they suddenly passed away, and what were ruled as suicides. And Yoon Ji-oh was also urging their other colleagues to come forward. Now, this was going to be pretty helpful for Jang Ja Yeon's case. However, Jang Ja Yeon's ex-boyfriend, who we are going to call as Mr. Che, because his identity was never actually revealed, Mr. Che claimed that Yoon Ji-oh was never actually Jang Ja Yeon's close friend and that they were just colleagues from the same agency. According to Mr. Che, Jang Ja Yeon never really mentioned Yoon Ji-oh to him. So Mr. Che claims that the only reason why Yoon Ji-oh decided to surface as a witness now was because she had ulterior motives. And it was then revealed that Yoon Ji-oh was on the works of writing a book surrounding Jang Ja Yeon's suicide, and that she was receiving monetary donations via crowdfunding accounts regarding the case. So crowdfunding accounts, it's similar to a GoFundMe page. And the police, of course, looked into this and found that Yoon Ji-oh's statements were very inconsistent throughout the years. And aside from this, she also had multiple allegations of lies, defamations, and frauds, which ultimately led to the police issuing 3 warrants of arrests for her. Now, Yoon Ji-oh is currently in Canada and she is being summoned back to Korea to face the lawsuits that were filed against her. These include the ones that were filed by the public who donated money to her and her cause. In that same year, 2019, another arrest was made, and this time it was for the former Chosun Ilbo reporter, Cho Moo-ge. He was sentenced to 1 year in jail for molesting Jang Ja Yeon at a birthday party they both attended in 2008. Now, the former CEO of her agency, Kim Jong-sung, was also indicted. He received only 4 months in prison with a 1-year probation for physically abusing Jang Ja Yeon because, as I've mentioned, they forced her to sleep with VIPs by beating her up and threatening her. Now, sadly, these were the only arrests made. None of the 31 VIPs, directors, media executives, and CEOs were charged due to lack of evidence because up until now, they're still trying to figure out if that note was really written by Jang Ja Yeon herself. It's very sad, and she did not get the justice that she deserves at all. You know, as a woman, I can't even imagine what she was feeling. She was forced into prostitution almost. And it's so sad because she finally made it. She finally got her big break, the big break that she was hoping for. And yet, she just couldn't take it anymore. I'm still hoping that justice will be served. And I hope that it would be served fairly. And yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. Thank you so much for listening to Jang Ja Yeon's story. I hope you guys found that interesting. And don't forget to give this video a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe if you haven't. All of my social media handles will be listed down below, so go ahead and check that out if you want. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all on my next video.